Right, Shalom. Giving all praise and glory unto Yahweh Bar Hashem, Yahweh Shai Bar Hashem, Rachudash, double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well, and a sincere Shalom to you, Akim, who be pushing this word around the globe in faith and in truth and in sincerity. We are the real Hebrew Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Hispanics, and Native Americans, and West Indians and West Africans predominantly. But you're also going to have Israelite foreigners who may look like the other nations, but if your seed line by your father goes back to any of the people I mentioned above, before, and they go back to the man in the Bible named Israel, then you too are an Israelite no matter what you look like, because Israel has been scattered amongst all nations. So you're going to get Israelite foreigners who may look like any of the 17 nations, but their seed line and their spirit goes back to the man named Israel. If that be the case, then they're an Israelite. So I'm going to do a little video here on an article I just was reading, I think it's yesterday or the day before, and this is actually an old article. It's from 10th of May 2018, but I only just heard about this stuff, I think it was a few days ago. This is the first time I've ever heard that this thing is even a thing that is actually taking place. So basically the topic is it's from the Metro News, which is a newspaper here in the UK. It says, women having virginity repair operations on the NHS to be as pure as possible again. Now, I had no idea that these types of things were going on, hence why I'm going to do a video touching up on it now, because this is some extreme wickedness. So let's get into it. It says, a vast majority of the women to have had the surgery were single. It says, women are having drastic virginity repair surgeries on the NHS, according to new hospital figures. Surgery to reconstruct the hymen, a thin membrane at the opening of the vagina, can tear during sex, though it can tear in a variety of other ways, which is bullshit. Bullshit, which Esau says is supposed to be penetrated via sex. That's why it's there in the first place. It says takes about half an hour and costs at least £1,000 every time. At least 109 women have undergone the procedure in NHS hospitals between 2007 and 2017, but the real number is believed to be far greater. That's because only 9 local NHS trusts of around 150 NHS Foundation trusts responded to a Freedom of Information request asking for the data, with the rest refusing to reveal the information. Experts believe women are having the operation after feeling guilt. Boy, that's a cold cut right there, man. Cold cut right there. It says experts believe women are having the operation after feeling guilt about their first time and wanting to experience it again. A lot of people have had bad experiences for their first time, Harley Street relationship counsellor Louise Van der Velde said. Often it's not what it's meant to be. It is meant to be a sacred thing, which is true, and you never forget losing it. That's true, because you're only supposed to lose it once. And the man that has, according to the Bible, the man that has sex with you for the first time, that's your husband for life. Until death do you part. That's how it works for women. Women aren't supposed to be hopping on different men's rods like they're riding pogo sticks. That's not how it's meant to be. But this society promotes that, and that's why these women are feeling this internal guilt, because in their spirit they know that it's wrong to be living this kind of way. That's why these women are racked with guilt. Let's continue. It says, maybe because people have been let down by that and it doesn't end up being what they want to do it again. There ain't no do-overs for you women. It's a one shot deal, man. Maybe they want to share it with their husbands by being as pure as possible again. Well, you ain't pure once you're defiled. Once a man goes up in you, that's it. You're that man's property until that man dies, according to the law of the Bible. So it says, during the surgery, the hymen is either stitched or reconstructed, allowing it to tear and bleed again the next time the woman has sex. It's some fucking wickedness, man. Luton and Dunstable University Hospital has performed 12 procedures since 2013 at a cost of £12,700. Of the women known to have had the procedure, 81% were single, 23 said that they had no religion. Hang on, 81% can't be single, because in order for your hymen to tear you have to have been penetrated. So therefore the man that penetrated you is your husband. So this is a bullshit statistic right here. So it says 81% were not single. 23 said they had no religion, atheist devils. 15 identified as Christian, and 8 as the Church of England, and 2 was Muslim. Procedures were carried out at Norfolk and Norwich University Hospital, which has done 50 since 2012, but did not provide figures for the cost. Meanwhile, Luton and Dunstable University Hospital performed 12 of the operations since 2013 at a cost of 12,727.32. So what would that be? I guess that's 12,727,332 pence. I'm guessing. While North Bristol NHS Trust spent 11,950 on an unknown number of surgeries. Under health authority rules, women can have the operations for psychological as well as physical reasons. They are also available at private clinics in London which charge up to £4,000 for the surgery. Dr. Naomi Crouch, spokesperson for the Royal College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists, said there is a lack of reliable evidence about the clinical effectiveness and risks of FGCS, female genital cosmetic surgery, and there is no medical indication that these operations can be kept and there is no medical indication for these operations to be carried out. It is important that clinicians inform and reassure women and girls about variations in female genitalia, thoroughly explore the reasons behind the requests for FGCS, and advise on the management of physical symptoms rather than suggesting surgery as an option. A gynecologist's view on hymenoplasty. Dr. Pandelis Anthonius, consultant gynecologist at London Women's Centre, said you can't actually tell if someone is a virgin or not just because they do not have a hymen, which is bullshit, according to the Bible. He says he receives phone calls from the women looking to have their hymen restored, particularly if sexual abstinence before marriage is important to their culture, which should be important to all cultures because that's the law of the Bible. In some countries, a woman losing her virginity before marriage, which is impossible because sex constitutes marriage, according to the Bible. There's no such thing as sex before marriage because sex is marriage, you morons. In some cultures, women losing her virginity before marriage can have consequences, hence the requests for repair or restoration of the hymen, he says. This is called hymenoplasty and can be performed with different surgical techniques under local or general anesthesia. Dr. Athanias said many people believe the hymen completely cover the vaginal entrance and breaks during vaginal penetration. However, he said he would describe it as a small tear on a thin layer of tissue, which is usually accompanied by some bleeding. Khan, that's the token of a woman's virginity. But why doesn't it grow back again? Because the Most High didn't want it to grow back again, because that's the mark and the token of a woman's virginity. The hymen can't grow back as it is just stretched and torn tissue without the ability to regenerate, said Dr. Athanasius. It's a difficult name to say. Athanasius. We occasionally have patients calling and requesting appointments to clarify whether they are still virgins. The hymen stretches and tears not just through penetrative sex, but during exercise or when inserting a tampon or other objects into the vagina, which shows that this is bullshit and off according to the scriptures. It's not supposed to be sticky shit up there. If a woman also relaxes, uses lubrication and digitally stretches the hymen, then it might not tear during intercourse. So you can't definitely tell if someone is a virgin if they have a hymen, or is not a virgin if they don't have a hymen, which is bullshit, and I'm going to show you why. So that's the end of the article. Let me show you what this so-called gynecologist, which is a physician of no value, why he's talking out of his arse. Let's get that. So, where am I going? So I want to go to Deuteronomy chapter 22. Around about 13. Let's see. Alright. Alright, so there we go. It says, Deuteronomy 22 and 13, it says, if a man take a wife and go into her, meaning he has sex with her, and hate her, and give occasions of speech against her, and bring up an evil name upon her, and say, I took this woman, and when I came to her, I found her not a maid, i.e., she didn't have the tokens of virginity, i.e., a hymen breaking and there being some blood. Then shall he take the father of the damsel and her mother, take and bring forth the tokens of the damsel's virginity unto the elders of the city in the gate. So the token of a woman's virginity is actually the sheet after you penetrate her and she bleeds. That was considered the token of her virginity. So if a man goes into a woman and he turns around and says he hates her, and that when he went into her he found her not a virgin, he's supposed to do this. Deuteronomy 22:15, it says, Then shall the father of the damsel and her mother take and bring forth the tokens of the damsel's virginity unto the elders of the city in the gate. And the damsel's father shall say unto the elders, I gave my daughter unto this man to wife, and he hateth her. And lo, he hath given occasions of speech against her. I found not thy daughter a maid, and yet these are the tokens of my daughter's virginity. And I shall spread the cloth before the elders of the city. And the elders of that city shall take the man and chastise him, and they shall immerse him in 100 shekels of silver, and give him in 100 shekels of silver, and give them unto the father of the damsel, because he hath brought upon it an evil name upon the Virgin of Israel. So basically, if a man slanders a woman unjustly, saying that she wasn't a virgin when in fact she is, he's supposed to pay 100 shekels of silver as a compensation or recompense, because he hath brought an evil name upon a virgin of Israel, and she shall be his wife, and he may not put her away all his days. But if this thing be true, so let's say he did go into her and she wasn't a virgin, so it says, but if this thing be true, and the tokens of virginity be found not for the damsel, then they shall bring out the damsel to the door of her father's house, and the men of her city shall stone her with stones that she die. Ooh, let me read that again, that's cold. Deuteronomy 22:21. Then they shall bring out the damsel to the door of her father's house, and the men of her city shall stone her with stones that she die. And why are they going to do this? Let me read it again. But if this thing be true, and the tokens of virginity be found not for the damsel, then they shall bring out the damsel to the door of her father's house, and the men of her city shall stone her with stones that she die, because she hath wrought folly in Israel, and played the whore in her father's house. So shalt thou put away evil from among you. There you go. So that's the judgment. And that's how important these tokens of virginity are in our ancient customs, which is what the world's going to go back to when Yahushua returns and brings judgment on this planet by destroying you Edomites and putting you other 16 nations into hardcore bondage. 17, in fact, including Esau and Edom. Let's continue. It says, Deuteronomy 22:22, if a man be found lying with a woman married to an husband, then they shall both of them die. So the man's supposed to die as well, the man that lie with a woman that's already married. Both the man that lay with the woman and the woman, so shall I put evil away from Israel. If a damsel that is a virgin be betrothed unto her husband, and a man find her in the city and lieth with her, then ye shall bring both them out unto the gate of the city, and ye shall stone them with stones that they die, because the damsel, she cried not, being in the city, and the man, because he hath humbled his neighbour's wife, so shall they put away evil from Israel. So these are the rules and laws on adultery. It says, but if a man find a betrothed damsel in the field, and the man force her, i.e. rape her, and lie with her, then the man only that lay with her shall die. So that's the law against forced intercourse, I suppose you should say. I was looking for that word there. But unto the damsel thou shalt do nothing. There is in the damsel no sin worthy of death, for as when the man riseth against his neighbour and slayeth him, so is this the matter. For if he found her in the field, and the betrothed damsel cried, and there's none to save her, there you go. So yeah, I'm going to end it there, because I don't need to go back too much further than that. The point's been made. So all these people who are trying to have this reconstructive surgery and stuff, they're nothing but liars, and you can't regain your virginity. It's a one shot deal. So even they can go for all of this, contrived surgeries and stuff to try and fake the funk, but you can't do it because the Most High sees everything. He's got your score sheet, and he's keeping tabs on all you're doing. Let me find one more scripture. It's like I'm just looking for it here. I'm going to get Job 13:4 to close this out. So this is Book of Job, chapter 13 and verse 4. This is what I've got to say to this so-called doctor who's saying that the hymen might not tear during sex and all this kind of bullshit. Dr. Pandelis Athanasius, I think that's how you say his name. This is a scripture to this dude. It says, Job 13:4, but ye are forgers of lies, you are all physicians of no value. Oh, that you would altogether hold your peace, and it should be your wisdom. So let me read this again. Job 13:4, but ye are forgers of lies, ye are all physicians of no value. Oh, that ye would altogether hold your peace, and that it should be your wisdom. So I've made the point. Just bringing this out, and I said this article that I read is from 2018. So this has been going on for a long time, and I'm only just peeping game on this now. So yeah, that's that. So giving all praise and all glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Kakodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well, and a sincere shalom to Yakim, pushing this word in faith and in truth and in sincerity. Shalom.